We're Blake and Brittany, and we live in southern Ecuador. Not long ago, we did a video on all the reasons we're glad we moved abroad with kids, link up here, and what a difference that has made for our family and our experience abroad.
But what about the kids themselves? How has moving to a new country affected them? And I don't really mean like, oh, well, they're bilingual now, or wow, they've sure gotten a lot better at soccer. I also don't mean maybe the cool experiences they've had, the things they've seen. More like, what changes have we noticed in their character, or how they conduct themselves, who they are as people?
Yeah, so in this video, we're going to share 5 changes that we've seen in our kids that we believe are results from their move down here to Ecuador.
Y para los que hablan español, bienvenidos y gracias por mirar. Este es el proceso para subtítulos en español.
And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to Average Family Abroad and send us any of your questions in the comments. We really love answering those and engaging with you all. And we're happy to share so much more about our experience.
Okay, so there are things that children should be able to count on their parents providing. Things like stability and security. So how did our kids take it when we told them we were moving away from their favorite places and their favorite people? Not just to a new town or a new state, but to South America.
Most parents act in what they perceive to be their kids' best interests, and we're not any different in that. We're absolutely convinced, though, that this move would be a good thing for our family.
But there is so much unknown. What if one or more of our kids failed to find his footing? What if they grew resentful? It's a lot to ask of a child starting over in a new country, in a new language. We knew we'd have to be really sensitive to their experience. This is our dream. They're just along for the ride. And it's our responsibility to make sure they don't get lost or overlooked in this process, and that they're equipped to step into their own adventure.
We've been laying the groundwork for a move overseas since our oldest really was a baby. It's always been in the back of our minds, sometimes in the front, and even when it seemed really unlikely, it was something we talked about as a family, this idea of living abroad.
And clearly, we'd done a thorough job at getting them used to the idea, because in May of 2021, when we sat them down and said, guys, we're moving to Ecuador, their response was basically to shrug and say, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we were off to a good start.
And now, almost 4 years in, we can say definitively that living abroad has been amazing for our children. In fact, there's only been one downside for our kids, and that's living far away from their grandparents and cousins and other extended family. Everything else, though, has been very good.
And that's a bold statement, but I agree with you. It has been almost universally a positive thing for our kids.
Yep.
So positive in what ways?
Number 1, since moving abroad, our children have become way more confident. I think there are multiple reasons for this. One in particular is that the kids are used to navigating new situations and have learned that they can navigate them. Challenges have solutions and they don't need to be avoided.
Also, they've been sort of forced to sift through their identity, decide in which ways they want to conform to their new culture and which ways they're content to differ. And that sort of intentionality fosters confidence.
Yeah. For example, we joke that our youngest, who moved here when he was 6, is pretty much now Ecuadorian. His interests, his preferences, even the way he talks. It's funny, fascinating. But he's also really into U.S. military history, especially World War II, which is not a major part of life here, right? And so he's maintained that deep passion despite all of that.
Number 2, our kids have become more empathetic.
This one comes from the immigrant experience, I think. They now know firsthand how it feels to be an outsider, to have no idea what's going on or what's expected of you, and to be frustrated by that at times for sure, and to be a little anxious.
They've also, though, experienced what a difference an encouraging word can make, or a hand, extended in friendship. So we see a new awareness in our kids of their peers' struggles, mostly at school. There's a willingness they have to dialogue with us about that, and they want to understand what could be motivating a particular person's behavior.
All right. So number 3, Our kids are more flexible.
So a couple of our kids really like knowing the plan. But plan is a very loose concept here. Living in a foreign country demands flexibility, and that goes for kids too.
Yeah, and we make mistakes that have to be corrected all the time.
We're regularly caught by surprise.
And because of how relational society here is, a quick outing often stretches into hours. Things like talking over cups of coffee, things like that.
And that's, you can't always predict that, and that's hard for someone who likes things predictable.
Yeah, but the kids are learning to hold the plan in an open hand, right? Being able to go with the flow is a quality that will absolutely serve them well in life.
No matter where they end up.
No matter where they are.
Number 4, the kids are becoming more open-minded.
Early on, when we'd be going somewhere, we'd regularly caution the kids, remember, we don't know what to expect. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know the outcome or
the
process, any of it. So that would be maybe for if they got an invitation to a party or a play date, maybe a community or a church event. We learn not to make any assumptions.
But we don't have to say that to the kids anymore, right? They're not fazed by different. And obviously, we've encountered lots of things that are different here. Obvious things like food and clothes, music, customs, traditions, but also a lot more significant things as well, like how people interact with each other, how they view the world.
So while it's great that the kids will eat whatever food is offered to them, and they'll gamely participate in activities and celebrations, I think more significantly, and of course they would never say it like this, but their idea of what a successful life looks like has expanded.
Yeah. A lot of people that they really admire here live lives that are marked by things like hard work, civic duty, being present for their families. These are people who live in simple homes, maybe don't have cars, vehicles, haven't gone to college necessarily or traveled the world, and yet they're people worthy of emulating because of their character, and our kids get that. They understand.
Number 5, the kids are more appreciative.
One thing we've noticed in our kids is that they're more easily pleased. And it's not that they're settling, it just doesn't take all the bells and whistles to impress them.
You know what makes for a really awesome day, it turns out? Overgrown vintage playgrounds. An unthemed low-key birthday party. Bugs and rainbows and fresh-picked fruit. Skipping rocks, pick-up soccer games with friends, pooling their coins with a buddy to buy snacks. The little things are the big things. And it's been beautiful to see how living somewhere with less emphasis on having has brought more joy into their lives, not less.
And we don't want to imply that our kids are always confident and flexible, or that they're always open-minded and empathetic and appreciative.
They're little humans and they have typical human issues.
Yes, they do.
Some atypical human issues. I don't know.
But we've seen remarkable growth, and maybe they would have grown in the same ways if we'd stayed in the United States, but we're fairly sure that much of it can be attributed to their life here in Ecuador.
The world has become both bigger and smaller for them, and their dreams are bigger but also somehow more attainable. We know that whatever is in store for them, the life they're living here is shaping them. We can practically see it happening, and we're kind of in awe of who our children are becoming.
We were and are just a normal family. Thankfully, you don't have to be exceptional to give your kids the transformative experience of living overseas.
Follow along on our journey by subscribing to our channel, Average Family Abroad. Don't forget to like this video.
I'll see you on the next one.